What up YouTube, it's your girl Jess. I'm here to get you guys on the floor using your muscles to get better in the bedroom. Again, before we get started, you guys gotta know how I smell so damn good is because of Dossier. Dossier does an amazing job of providing quality scents for half the price. Code in the bio. I got y'all. Also, Mitch will be joining us, I guess. So first I'm gonna take you guys through some stretches and then we're gonna go into the actual workout portion. I'm not gonna guide you guys through like an actual workout. These are just gonna be like types of workouts you can incorporate in what you already do, or maybe fix your form in what you already do. You'll see how it's all incorporated because I'm gonna explain as I go. And a lot of y'all need this, so you're welcome. I'd also like to preface by saying that anybody can do these workouts. It doesn't matter what sexual orientation, who you are in the world, this is for everybody. I'm a certified personal trainer of 5+ years. I've been in the gym for 10, 15+ years. I'm an ex-athlete. I've rehabbed myself from many, many injuries. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know I talk about my history and I have a history of some bedroom things. You'll see, just try these out, So just get things warming here. A lot of y'all think these really are like sissy, they're kind of like feminine. Get into the cat-cow. Make sure you breathe it in and push away from the floor. And breathe it out. Extend up, reach, push the chest down, arch your back as far as you can and do it again. Breathe it in, tuck your pelvis. Oh God. You really feel that in your low back, and you can do circles with it. A lot of y'all might be asking, why this position? Well, how does this even help you in the bedroom? How many times are we in this position, y'all? How many times we wish we could be able to, you know, with our pelvis? It's gonna help. And a lot of things are connected to the hip and spine that we don't realize. So from here, we're just gonna go straight to child's pose. Sit on your heels and reach and get your chest to the floor. And really try to extend. Sit back. This one, a lot of people don't do very well because they realize that you have to get your knee all the way to the floor in the middle of your body, and then this hip is trying to go down while this hip is staying on the floor. Feel that rotation, and then you try to sit into it. Woo, buddy. Yep. And damn. You'll see how tight you are. Make sure you do both sides. You can go on each side, stretching this way, this way. This one I really like because how many times do we wish that we could get our legs a little bit wider, a little bit longer, and our hips are always holding a lot of tension, a lot of tightness. And I really like to extend my chest and push forward. So I'll sit back. You can see how my knees are getting closer to the floor. How much rotation is happening. Right. From there, you can lay back. One I know is feminine again, but again, if we want to get lower, especially as women with women, especially with bumping, this is key right here. Try to really let your legs relax as far as they can. Use your hands to push. And then for a lot of exercises where you're trying to get lower and trying to loosen that more, to add a resistance, like to add with your hands, push hard down to the floor and resist it with your legs. So now you're adding tension, working that inner groin, and then release, and you'll get even lower. Breathe, guys. Every single thing you do, breathe. A lot of us masks don't use our hips or stretch our hips, and that is why we're slacking, and I'm trying to help you guys. Right here, I'm just rotating inward and outwards on each side. All right, same thing here. Cross it, pull. You'll feel that right in there. Push this forward by pulling the other leg. Some of my favorite sports stretches are these here. Stretched out. Reach and try to keep your shoulder down on the other side. Just like on this side. Trying to reach your legs back. Same thing on your back. I like to do that as well. It's kind of just like splitting your body in half. Knee down over here, shoulder down over here. This one, one of my favorites for the hips. I do have a hip imbalance and I've been working on it. But what I like to do is make sure that you're 9 degrees both ways. This leg you're leaning, but this foot's facing this way. This hip is bracing you to be in this position while this hip's bracing you to be in this position. So you're feeling that as you stretch and lean. And how many times have we tried to do one leg? Right, so you wanna be strong in this position. This is gonna get you strong in that position. Come back up. Really try to force the knee outward. You'll feel it every time. This is another great one. When you're here, you're pointing this toe over here, and you're sitting back. Again, having the hips in 2 different positions, and you're opening it up. You can push the foot down and sit back harder. Play with your torso position to even feel that even more. Again, make sure you're doing both sides of everything. You're doing at least 10 reps slow of everything, taking your time breathing. That's why I really like to, you know, and do all this because you feel it, like you really feel it in your cells. This is one of my favorites here. Sitting back. All right. The hip flexors for me are hella tight half the time. I feel that really bad in here. You don't even have to extend that much. You can just push up, push your butt, get your abs tucked. You'll feel that. I do this move a lot when I dance, so I'm like this, and I sit back with it. Ooh, right, whoa. So that's why I like to stretch in this position and feel the power of the groin. A lot of people use their low back with their groin, but really isolating their groin is gonna get you that strength to get up. These gotta be tight. Right here with it. A lot of you guys should know this one, right? Pretty obvious why, okay? Push the knee out, make it harder. Sit and push. Sit and push. Sit back. Hamstrings. You guys wanna take this one step further, grab this, pull down, really sit into it. Squat position, feet out, push your knees out with your elbows. Try to sit up, sway to side. Big thing here is just pushing your knees out. That's the hardest part. Woo. Here as well, just a little bit of a knee bend. This right here is a great stretch dash exercise that you can incorporate right away. So from here, keep your hands down, extending, just bend, extend, and extend. And you'll feel this, 20 reps, 30 reps, woo buddy. The lower and the higher you go, especially with your torso, you know what I'm saying? What you'll notice is a lot of these are body weight exercises, which means you can do this at home, which means there's no excuses. But I do like to go to the gym, get myself out of my own environment and incorporate these in my workouts. I don't always just do body weight, but I've been doing a lot of calisthenics and it's improved my game tenfold. I would suggest this to anybody, man. If you master your body weight in exercise, you're gonna master the bedroom. It's just how it works. You'll literally be doing something, you're like, you know what? I could be more optimal in this position if I put my elbow here, my leg like this, and then you feel it and it hits and you're like, woo, and then they'd be like, woo, and then it's waterfalls. But you know, you guys could keep just doing a little cute little workouts. It's okay. If you don't want to improve, it's okay. A lot of us know the bridge, right? This one here. There's other ways you can incorporate this one. Obviously, you just want to go up, squeeze. But a lot of times y'all forget that you got to keep this in. So from here, rotate up like that, and then go. And you'll see how straight you are in a line. You'll feel the weight in your heels. You want to be 9 degrees with your knee. That's going to target the glutes and really hit them. And the more that you understand that how much this is incorporated in your stroke, it makes the biggest difference in the world. If this is too easy, one leg, right? I also like to do these where I'm in like a crab position, obviously for obvious reasons, you know? And again, same thing, but that allows you to be flexed in an open position and you know the rest. Yeah, so yeah, you get those quality reps there. The main goal is to really push your knees outward no matter what you're doing, and you'll feel it even more, especially in the high glute. This is great for strengthening your hips. If you got weak hips, you don't want to isolate them. Leaning forward, lifting, tapping, backward, up. Just using the glute, keeping the abs tight, right? You can go outward, in, outward, this way, both ways, as well as side lifts with the knee bent and kicks from a 90 degree and up, using the heel, really pushing that heel up, pulsing. It's not just legs that I'm incorporating here too, we're also talking about body. Now obviously push-ups are gonna help you out, but a lot of us obviously can't do them. The way around it is a couple ways. First, just holds, right? You just wanna be able to hold it. The wrists for a lot of us, especially when we're in it, get weak, right? And the only way sometimes I used to bypass that was this, with my fist down, or like grabbing or repositioning all the time. And I realized that my wrists were just really, really weak. And because a lot of us don't do push-ups in the right position. First of all, they're supposed to be shoulders right above your hands, which already puts a lot of tension in your wrists. But in calisthenics, it teaches us to really lean over our wrists. And that right there is hard for a lot of people, especially when you're inverted, like in a handstand or something. Works your wrists like crazy. This position is also teaching us to contract this. It's not cute when we don't know how to contract this and we're doing a lot of like, you know, and there's just not a lot of, and then you're trying to hold it and then you can't, because you gotta create balance and base for yourself. It doesn't matter if they're the receiver or the giver in this position. You wanna be able to be strong at all times. So just holds, getting down on your elbows, getting up on your hands, making sure your body isn't swaying so much. Sorry, it's bulk season, I'm out of shape. That's okay, we're still going. If you can't do a regular push-up, then go down, touch your chest, up on your knees. If you can't do that, just stay on your knees. If you can master your knees, then I would start doing these leans and pushing and leaning forward on your knees, and you'll feel so much harder, how much harder that is. And for my tops, my givers, my people that like to be on top, push-ups are the name of the game. If you already got your push-ups down, more advanced things would be wider, obviously. So here, but leaning. Yep. We're doing rotations. You're trying to really connect your front from your back, and that's what push-ups does, as well as create balance and stability when you are in those positions. Doesn't matter where your hands are at, is what my point is. But the goal is to be able to hold yourself, not be shaking like a dog, and learn how to transfer the weight of your muscles and what you're working as it's happening. So say I'm in it, right, and I'm here, or I'm here, and I'm shaking, right? I'm just shaking, I can't really hold myself. I know that I have to tuck in my shoulders, grasp my abs a little bit more, and use more of this rather than anything else to like really stop and control the shaking, the imbalances in my body. And when you do have something in a workout, say hollow holds, right? I'm already shaking, but the more that I breathe, and just focus on what is making me shake, because it's just me and my balance with my low back. I know that for me. I gotta get this stronger and this stronger to get this in place in order for everything to calm down. It's really about your nervous system. So if you're in those times where you do feel like you're shaking or you can't control it, either focus on breathing harder and slower and controlling that, or take a break, do a different position, something where you're not putting your body in that strain, and just be real with yourself, because it is kind of embarrassing after a while if you're literally like, ooh, like you are shaking and you cannot get a hold of it. That's why I say all the time, I train for the bedroom. 90% of my training is for the bedroom, because I don't want to be in there shaking, freaking out, not knowing what I'm doing. I have the training to back it up and to make sure that I have reinforcements and different ways to go about things and options. Another great advanced push-up one is to sit back, lean forward, push down. Planks here, I honestly wouldn't even suggest, because 9 times out of 10, we're not gonna be on our feet, and this is just a stable position. When you're in stable positions or static positions, you're not really working the muscle in motion, and what's happening during it is there's a lot of motion. You gotta be working with the motion. So you'll notice everything I'm suggesting is not talking about static stuff, it's about in motion, moving the body as you work out so that it's applicable. So for here, I would either practice jump outs with your feet, right? Where I would push up, down, or side, side, turn, turn. This one especially. Also to my advanced push-uppers, I would suggest a pike push-up. You can get your feet as close as you can to your hands and lean, touch your head, push back up. That's really gonna help with your shoulder strength and lifting girls up and making sure that they are held, really using your shoulders to use against your own body weight. Make it harder to put your feet on a surface or a wall. Now on our feet, we're gonna get into some squat stuff. This is where it gets really intense, but I'm gonna have you guys do some side squats. If you can't do these yet, just go as low as you can go. Again, my feet are turned out, and the farther I am, the more that I'm able to get a little bit lower. Right? You're pushing the weight on each side. And this is teaching you how to like balance the weight in your feet no matter where your legs are at and where you're standing, which is important because a lot of us be slipping and flying around. If you want to really get into it, aside from regular squats, obviously the wider your feet are at, the more your glutes are using, and the more that we want to be able to use this position if we can, right? So holding, slow reps. It's not about the fast, it's about slow, control, body weight, position. If you don't know a proper squat, feet are turned out a little bit, knees point outwards and stay outwards as far as they can. Rotate a little bit and lean forward a little bit, and then drop. Push your knees out, like that. And that's gonna teach you how to better flex this, just like those bridges and other things in the squat position. So from here, we go around. This is a little bit more advanced. You can hold something, trying to make it fluid. If we're in this position, you got good deep squats already, pulsing. Staying low, you know? Get lower, try to tilt forward a little bit. Really engage the glute. Push the knees out. Ooh, right there. The closer your feet are when you're squatting, the more the front of the leg is happening and working. I honestly like to have something under my heels or to be on my toes a little bit. If you can do it with your feet flat, even better. You know, as Asians, we can hold this Asian squat. If you guys don't know how to lock your feet into the floor, you start a little bit outward, grab and turn with your feet like this, and then push down with your big toe, and you'll feel an instant arch. I used to have flat feet, I used to have horrible positioning my feet, all that stuff. But learning how to position my feet when I squat, when I stand. If you guys can see a little bit of an arch there when I do the proper positioning. You can also see how my legs look when I'm properly positioned too. It just looks good. So when I'm squatting or doing anything, especially 1 foot, you gotta know how to properly grab the ground with your feet. And when you know how to properly grab things with your feet, standing in tough positions, if you gotta really brace yourself, you know, you gotta, whoa, you know, you gotta stay stable, you gotta stay sturdy, and that's really important. For my advanced people, if you really wanna learn some shit and get your legs developed and be able to hold positions like this where you're leaning back more, staying on the toes, leaning, you can try to get as low as you can with your knees, trying to touch the floor. But that's just for my advanced people, and I'm still getting that one down without any assistance. Now for those that like to do split squats, lunges, if we're doing one leg stuff, we could be using one leg. We could sometimes have to have our leg out of the picture. Back foot rotates inward and the hip is straight. This is straight. This is going out a little bit. Leaning forward, leaning back. Still bending this back knee. If you want to work more of your glute, which is important for thrusting, I would lean forward more and just do half the range. And you'll really feel that up in here. This one's kind of overlooked, but this is great for getting up and down in regular everyday life as well as in the bedroom. And say you have bad knees, this one's for those people. So standing, kneeling, standing, kneeling. stay low, centered, not really swaying too much. Good mornings are a great option. If you hold something here, or if you just do these body weight, you can feel how your hips are utilized by pushing them back and having to utilize these muscles to keep you balanced, because if not, we'll fall back, we'll fall forward. We really wanna push all the way into here and then push it forward and feel that squeeze. And the more that you get lengthened in your hips, you'll be able to really reach and feel this muscle working. Walkouts are great. Down, walk it out. Push up, walk it back. Stand it up as one. A lot of times we're in standing positions and we're trying to do things, we're trying to brace ourselves, and there's a lot of twisting involved sometimes. This type of movement is going to challenge all of this because you're staying straight here, but you're turning with the other half of your body. The more that I flex everything here, push forward and rotate, if you hold a weight, any type of separation from the two halves of your body, you're gonna feel this working. Because I know how to brace muscles properly, I'm able to really engage when it needs to happen. So like, I don't fall usually. Like if I feel something slippery, I'm able to like kind of and brace myself. I do have weights at home. These are kettlebells. I think they're like 25 pounds. What I do like to do, obviously, is curls. So everybody knows curls. Why are we doing curls? Because picking girls up can be really important for some of us. This is really important. Not only curls, holding, isolating, one at a time, positions, rotations, hand positions, stuff like that. It's also gonna work your grip, and grip is really important. Again, for pressing and picking up around the shoulders area, shoulder presses, keeping your core tight, understanding how to balance something over your head with heavy weight while keeping your abs there. Shaking a little bit, but once I feel it, I'm like, I got it, we're good. And of course, pressing, bench pressing, floor pressing, super important because you're teaching yourself how to hold weight over yourself. I always like to have a little bit of arch on my back. You can see it, my pelvis is tilted back. And it's teaching you how to brace my shoulders into the floor, into the pad, wherever I'm at. You can work on separating, squeezing the inner chest, isolating arm by arm, different positions, different hands, different lengths. Also with weights, triceps, the back of the arm, we worked from here on a bench, one at a time, stuff like that. The back of the arm, a lot of people don't know, actually helps with pushing and pressing. So the back of the arm is weak and you're bad at pressing, it's probably because the back of your arm is weak. You really need to do these close arm presses with a lot of elbow flexion to really feel that. This is a great ab one where you extend, teaching you how to, again, separate your body with control. You can do this without weights. Reach the opposite arm back while the leg is there. Switch. And you gotta keep this down, lower back to the floor. Don't sleep on the ab exercises. I don't even do crunches. I do a lot of twisting, a lot of lengthening, a lot of holding, because it's teaching you how to utilize this to help prevent hurting from this. And if you have someone on top of you and they're slamming on you, say you're on the floor, which also hurts, you gotta make sure that you have proper ab positioning and strength in here to be able to protect this from getting hurt. And of course, earlier, like we did the bridges, if you put some weight on here, you can really feel your glutes being used. Speaking of abs, this one right here is key for the obliques. A lot of us do like side bends and stuff. You don't need anything but this one right here. If you obviously do a side plank, it sucks. I like to keep my hand out, really brace myself a little bit more on my whole arm than just my elbow because it can hurt. Here, if you can't do this on the knees, you want to really get high, and then from there, after you do about 10 reps of these, pulse from here and really squeeze, and you'll feel these muscles right here. Woo boy. I have a pull-up bar, but I would also suggest a lot of holds, pull-ups, rotations, in lifting. Holding in general is going to get your grip strength up a lot, and a lot of us need to work on that. So including in all of these things, even fatter grips at the gym. People think I'm lying when I say I like fat grips, but I'm serious. Fat grips are a real thing where the grip is actually a lot thicker. It's forcing your hand to have to grab and hold on to weight. at a much bigger circumference, and hence gets your forearm jacked and your strength up, your wrists bigger, everything stronger for bigger loads. Also, this position is important for if you want to do rows, standing with no help from any type of stabilization. The stabilization is in the back of the legs. Then you're able to work the top of your back in order to prevent from hurting your low back. Notice how I'm rowing backward towards my hip, keeping the form correct. This is great for, again, picking things up, picking girls up, throwing them around. Well, I'm a little tired. I wanted to give you guys a taste of what some exercises I do in the gym are and how to utilize those and incorporate those when you are in the bedroom. Aside from all the jokey jokes, I'm so serious about these things. When you really understand the practice of working out, you'll see how much it applies to what you're doing, something physically, especially stuff in the bedroom. And that is so important for a lot of us who don't feel as confident or feel like we want to just look better for ourselves or just like feel like we know what we're doing a little bit better. 9 times out of 10, it's not really not knowing about the technique, it's more so knowing about what to utilize from what you've learned in the gym and how you've taught your experience and things you've learned from other people and form and all that stuff to apply to situations when you are in the bedroom. And I give 90% of my credit in the bedroom to my gym experience because I'm always thinking about those things as I'm doing it and just trying to be better every single time. And if I can do workouts to help that and if I can look better while doing it, I'm gonna do it. And it's been nothing but good reviews. So if you wanna have a better review, you wanna feel better, like I said, all those things, try these things out, incorporate them. Just keep it simple, anywhere from 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 to 15 to 20 reps, depending on what you're feeling. And there's so much more I could give you guys, but these are some of the basics, some advanced, some simple, all the things in one video. Tell me what else you guys wanna see in the comments. I love you guys. Stay safe out there, stay in shape, and get this work. I love y'all.